Hello, YouTube. Here is how to change the lithium battery in a Sanyo rice cooker. This model is ECJ-F50S. It is one of those that has a computer on board, so-called fuzzy logic. It has a retractable cord. It has settings for different sorts of things, and it has a timer. And the timer, if you want to set your food to, if you want to set it to cook at some future time, you really do need the lithium battery. It has a nice pot inside, nice and thick, and it's a very sturdy appliance. But this lithium battery inside keeps the time, and it allows for easy timed cooking. But this battery is not user replaceable. It's glued or it's soldered to the circuit board inside the rice cooker. Here's a view of it once I got at it. So the user manual says that this battery has a life expectancy of 4 to 5 years, and it may be longer if you have it plugged into the wall outlet at all times. It says if the battery weakens, the appliance can still be used as usual as long as it's plugged in. If a replacement's needed, you can contact Sanyo at this number. However, if you look on Amazon, there are reviews complaining about this rice cooker and its battery. Can't replace, don't buy. Called Sanyo. They said, we do not offer a battery replacement service. Could I get instructions or a diagram? Sorry, we don't do that. So this person points out how this is environmentally irresponsible. Another person says, I live in New York City. They tell me I have to pack it up and send it to California. They say it would be $25 for a diagnosis, plus $40 for labor, plus shipping. Even the person I spoke to thought it was ridiculous and tried to dissuade me from doing it. All right, here's another one about a do-it-yourself attempt. You have to disassemble it. You have to disassemble the front panel. It's not easy. You risk breaking something. Unless you feel comfortable performing brain surgery, stay away. All right. Well, our unit's battery died, and we did use it for some years without a battery. That was okay, but I wanted to cook rice without the long sequence of button pushing that was necessary when there's no battery. You have to reset the timer. You have to reset the clock. It's complicated. I'm not a brain surgeon, but I was happy to take on some rage repair. I was angry about Sanyo's design for the 3-volt lithium battery. Now, I saw a video about changing a lithium battery in a zojirushi rice cooker, but I could not find a video on YouTube about Sanyo rice cookers. I wasn't afraid to open this one up. I had done it before when the retractable cord was not working properly. I opened it from the bottom and I fixed the cord reel. So I got myself ready. I got my numbered egg carton and a chart to keep track of the parts, especially any screws I was going to remove. I could not prepare a new battery because I didn't know where the battery was or what number battery to use. Now I know it's CR2450, 3-volt battery, lithium. Okay. Let's go. Let me show you what is necessary. It's not brain surgery. First step, turn the cooker upside down and remove the silver cover on the control panel. You are removing this silver colored piece of plastic. What do you have to do? Remove 2 screws on the bottom. Then you have to pull that cover toward you, up and out gently. There are 2 plastic clips that you don't want to break off. Step 2, remove the entire bottom cover. You will take out 3 screws that have 3 large washers. When you have those out, lift the big cover toward the retractable cord. Lift it up and away from the front of the appliance. You want to do this because the cord winder is attached to the bottom cover. You can remove it with this little screw here. I'm sorry, the picture is not very clear. 1 little screw, and then you can remove that cord winder from the bottom cover. You will also need to pull the cord itself out through a hole in the bottom cover. So then set the bottom cover aside, and the cord winder can just lie on top of the cooker. There it is. There's the cord winder. And this is what you will see. Now, step 5, you are going to remove the control panel. It is held in with 4 screws. It has 4 screws deep in the appliance. You can just see the top of one here. It has 2 deep in the appliance and 2 that are very accessible. You do not have to remove these electronic connections. Don't even touch them. Don't worry about them. Just have to get these 4 screws out. To get the ones that are at the bottom, it's good to use a lightly magnetized screwdriver so you can get those screws and not have them drop deep in the machine. Okay, step 6, you want to pull out the control panel. You want to pull this up toward you, but you want to make sure that the buttons on its surface can clear the front cover of the appliance. So here's a look at what I was able to do. I'm using a spudger here to kind of push away the insulation. And you can see it's free now. It moves freely, the control panel. And what you need to do is pull the front of that appliance away so the buttons can clear. And then it can come out. And do we see a battery? No. So you want now to get inside this control panel. So turn this control panel over and you will see that there are 2 covers on it. Let's take a look. I'm not going to pull it too hard because I don't want to pull on those electronics. So you can see it's held by clips. These are typical clips inside electronics, and use a little screwdriver to pry them open, pry those clips open carefully so that you can get these 2 covers off. So now take off these 2 covers. There's a metal one, and then there's an insulator. Let's take a look and see what's inside. So a metal one. And then you can see I've put the letter L for the left of the insulator. All right, no battery. So we've got to go a bit further. But what you can see is that there are 5 screws on this circuit board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I discovered that they were not all exactly the same size. So you're going to want to keep track of those in your egg carton. But you can take those out. And then after you take those out, let's see how you can flip the board over. Again, I'm using a spudger because, again, there are some little clips up here and at the sides. There are 4 clips again. And I was trying to be quite careful to get this out. I didn't want to touch the surface of the board any more than necessary. In fact, not at all. And then, I'm sorry it went out of the frame. I will move the camera in a second. I didn't want to move these. I didn't want to bend those wires very much, those connectors. So here, okay, now you see the other side. There's the battery. Okay, you can see that the battery is in fact firmly attached to this board. Whether this is glue or solder, I don't know. If you have great soldering skills, you could desolder it. That might work. I myself used an X-Acto knife. I worked at it very slowly and carefully, taking my time to remove the battery from the top and bottom contacts. Okay, once I got it out, then I could see what kind of battery I needed, CR2450. I went and got one. So I resumed this project later. I wanted to test the battery, make sure that if I put it between the contacts, the display would go on, and indeed it did. Okay, so now I wanted to keep the battery in there in some sort of a semi-permanent, but a way that would allow me to change it again in some years. So I got some good quality electrical tape, and I put it sticky side up underneath the battery contacts, underneath both of them. I then put my battery between the contacts and firmly taped it in. using the electrical tape. So you can see what I did. Pushed it there, the display comes on. And I tried to really get that nice and tight with the electrical tape. You can see I marked the contact. I didn't really need to, but I wanted to make sure I had positive and negative correct. And then you might have to push some of the wires back through their opening and then just close up that circuit board again behind the clips. All right, so then that's it. All you've got to do now is reassemble the rice cooker. So reinstall the 5 screws holding the circuit board, reattach the 2 covers on the circuit board, the metal one and the insulating one, and you can stretch the frame a bit with a little screwdriver to help the clips lock. Flip that control panel around and reinsert it into the machine, being careful to give the buttons room. Pull the cord through the cover and reattach the cord winder to the bottom cover. Reattach the bottom cover with the 3 screws and the 3 washers. Reattach the control panel cover plate, and you should be done. Good luck. I hope that this helps you if you need it.